Did you like examine the benefits of each group? It's like, oh, okay, this is like forced.
Check out the pamphlets.
Yeah, it's just like they got insurance.
This guy's applying for college and stuff.
God.
Getting letters of recommendation.
Yeah, Asian boys has good dental.
Welcome back to a very special episode of Careful Boys. Today we got someone really great with us here today. We got Mr. Johnny Chang.
Hey.
Welcome. I first came across you. I was doing my little jogs on my treadmill like this, just like that.
With his hips sway.
Yeah, and I was just looking, and then I saw an interview I saw your face, and then it said, let me see what it said.
Ex-gang member, right?
Something like that. And I was like, what? Asian thugs? That's my whole childhood.
This is my dream.
And then so I started watching it, and I was like, oh shit, SGV watching, what the fuck, that's crazy. And so after I watched, that's when I DM'd you.
Yeah.
And you were so friendly, you're like, oh yeah, I'm super down.
Such a good interview,
So
by the
super
way.
cool.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate it.
Yeah, so if in case we sent it to our Discord, but in case you guys haven't seen it, the Soft White Underbelly interview with Johnny is amazing.
Thank you.
I watched that. Like a friend of mine sent it to me, and he was like, "Hey, you have to see this." It was like new, and then I checked it out, and I had to pull over, and I started crying, bro. Like when you got to the middle of that, talking about your, I don't want to spoil it, but just check it out. It's a lot, yeah.
Yeah, can you give like cliff notes of it? Because obviously it's your story, it's super good. So I don't want to butcher it or anything, but like, is there a way you could give like just a short version of it?
Yeah. So basically, I just talk about, how I grew up. I grew up in the San Gabriel Valley, predominantly like Chinese, and Mexican area. I kind of went through a lot of struggles with like bullying and just gangbanging. And you guys are from the area, it was late 90s, early 2000s was pretty hectic. And it was a tail end of like the gangbanging era. But essentially, like I grew up in that, ended up going to YA, which is like, the worst of the worst.
Is that like juvie?
It's like a child's prison, basically.
Oh shit.
Yeah, because people from YA, you can be 10 until 25. Whoa. Yeah, 10 until 25.
But it's like hard crimes, like murder and
Yes.
children that's committed hardcore.
So it's like the Harvard, but on the other side.
it's called Youth Authority, right? Yeah, Youth Authority.
Harvard. Okay.
Youth Authority. Yeah.
It's Youth Authority.
Well, congratulations.
Graduated. I graduated. But yeah, so from that, I ended up going to prison, and then after that, I came out and changed my life through like ministry, basically through Christianity.
What part of SGV you grew up in?
Alhambra, Monterey Park area. I mean, I was all around. I lived in Pomona for a little bit, South San Gabriel, El Monte. So, but I was the gang that I was around was in Monterey Park in Alhambra.
So was ours.
I grew up in Monterey Park too. How old are you?
33.
Oh, so you would have been the peewees of the generation that we got. I'm 38.
Oh, okay.
So, and I grew up in Monterey Park area too.
But his face looks so familiar though.
It does, bro. But then I feel like
I was bald headed back then.
I was too.
Yeah. So
Wasn't that a prerequisite?
No.
Do you openly talk about the hood you were from and stuff?
I mean, people ask where I'm from, and I let them know. It's.
It literally says Wah Ching in the title.
Oh, I'm from Oceanside, watching.
Oh. Interesting.
Damn, that's interesting.
I never talk about where I was from, but I'll tell you off camera.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just gonna ask you, but that was like, maybe not.
Did y'all used to chill with Monterey Park a lot?
Well, back then we all would function, right? So it's
Yeah.
like Sunnyside, Monterey Park, Kenside. They had like H group. I mean, all these different. They're all from the dub.
As a true SGV person, because everyone always argues these things, do you consider Arcadia in the SGV?
Dang.
Yo, to be honest,
He's gonna roast all the Santa Anita homies.
Because if it's Monterey Park, Alhambra, maybe even Alhambra, like, and north of Maine,
Come on.
Arcadia.
That's technically Pasadena.
Arcadia had. I mean, I feel like every city had gangs, right? But I remember San Marino and Arcadia. They only had the kids of mafia bosses, or they had like the United Bamboo guys, or like
Four Seas Mafia.
Four Seas, or they had Taiwanese watching. So they were like
Eastside, yeah.
T-side, yeah. They were all like I don't know what the best way to. They weren't gang banging.
What's the best way?
They were hanging around.
Use the vernacular of dead.
They were loitering. As long as you make it feel difficult to say, that's good.
They were soliciting.
They were in groups and they dressed apart, and if you hit them up, they would kind of run away.
So you're saying they're kind of like.
They weren't street thugs.
You also talking about like San Marino. That's like the nicest area.
Exactly.
Out there, you know what I mean?
Not really a gangbanger area.
Yeah.
They were all sophisticated. Like they were all teenagers doing major deals.
They got 4.0s, man.
Yeah, they were like the hustlers. They're kind of ahead of their time. Like how it is nowadays, everybody's trying to just get money.
Business.
But they were back then. We were just killing each other for a name, right? So
Exactly.
they were kind of ahead of their time.
How did you get, like, how old were you when you first joined the gang, and how did you, like, get into it?
So I was 12 years old when I first joined, and then 3 months into it, I caught my case. So yeah, I was banging for 3 months, and then how I got in, they call it a put on. You know, you get beat up by like however many people.
Jumped in.
Yeah, I get jumped in and get put on, and then from there you got to put in work after that.
Did you, like, examine the benefits of each group? It's like, oh, okay, this is like forced.
Check out the pamphlets.
Yeah, it's just like, they got insurance.
Guys applying for college
my
and stuff.
God.
Getting letters of recommendation.
Yeah, Asian boys has good dental. Did you look at all the...
I don't know, maybe they got a good dentist inside the, you know?
Great 401k.
Yeah.
I joined more for like protection, I would say, because we kind of went at it. Where I lived at was a lot of Hispanics, so I got jumped when I was like 10 years old. And after that, it just changed me, bro. I was like, you know, I'm not gonna ever do this again. And then you see back then they had like the rice rockets and stuff, you know, the hackers and whatever. And you would see the homies like they would have like super baggy Jinko or like anchor blue pants,
Solos.
you know, and solos, right?
Tubes.
Yeah, stuff from Mervin's or whatever. And anyway, yeah, you'd see them and they have respect, and you're like, damn, I want to be that. And then how I got put on was they hit me up. You know, I was walking on the street, little kid. Yeah, like, you bang, homie, and I was like, no, you know, I didn't know. It was like a gang of them. They pulled the strap, and then one of the dudes sitting shoddy was like, you want to kick it? And I was like, hell yeah. So they let me in the car, and then I started going around with them. And then, yeah, but it wasn't no sampling, no pamphlets or anything.
Did you have an older brother or any older cousins in the same gang?
Yeah, I have an older brother in the same gang. So the thing about OS is that
Was it your brother that hit you up?
Where you from?
Know me, dude.
Like, don't say it, bro. Don't say it.
That's hilarious.
You know what's crazy is I don't think we ever ran into each other, but we've heard of each other. Like I've heard of you guys,
Yeah.
and I mean, your hood was like it was down, but I never. It's so weird because I feel like I ran into everybody but OS in real life, like at other parties or whatever.
Everyone says that. That's crazy because we're not that deep. You know, we're very, very like, you know, even back then, like we weren't that deep. Maybe like 10 people. You know, that's not a lot compared to all like your hood had more people. You know, so I mean.
Yeah, because it was the main and there was the hangarounds.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. With us, we kind of screened a lot of people. You know, like we.
That's better because you didn't have little bitches like we did.
Jeez.
Basically.
Did you go to our high school?
I went to Alhambra.
Oh, Alhambra.
I went to Alhambra for a little bit. I got kicked out. You know, I brought a shank to school or whatever, got into a fight, and then I got sent to Century. You guys remember?
Yeah, the continuation school. Oh my God, it's so crazy. The thing is, it's just bringing back so much memories. Like, I went to Keppel, and I felt like all the dubs at that time went to Alhambra, and all the Asian boys went to Keppel.
Yeah, for sure.
I guarantee you, I know why during that time there was the Asian and Mexican beef. Is because the Asian boys in our high school had issues with the Lomas, and they started having stuff, so they just wanted to fuck up any Asian kids because they probably thought you're Asian boys or something.
Yeah, exactly.
And so I'm thinking you grew up around the South San Gabriel area.
Yes.
I knew it. That's fucking crazy.
You're like a historian, dude. You got it down to the region, to the beef, bro.
Wait until it gets to feudal Japan.
You know what?
Reminds me of the red and blue samurais.
His area is literally like a 3-minute drive, like a couple, like you could walk to the area that he grew up in from where I grew up.
That's nuts, dude.
Yeah, small world.
You were just about to mention something about like having an older brother.
Yeah, so our neighborhood we're all family. Like I think our side has the most brothers. So that's why we ride like that, because it's, you know what I mean? Like,
Oh yeah.
it's a personal thing.
Yeah, you're like way tighter. Yeah.
How did your brothers feel about you opening up and just doing all this stuff?
They love it, bro. They
yeah?
support
Oh, yeah?
it. Yeah. I mean, that's the one thing. Like, they can't stop. Like, they can't stop being my brothers. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like, it's like they might not like it or whatever, but the amazing thing is they actually support it, bro.
Do you think all of your family did all of them kind of turn around, or?
No, I mean, there's still people who are like, I'm not gonna say active, but they still have that mentality. But I mean, it's kind of like, we're really reputable, so they just kind of hold on to that. You know what I mean? Like, they don't change. They don't like change for the better, but they don't also, I don't know, like
Continue that life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're just like kind of in the middle. They're still down for their stuff. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, I would say I graduated out of it. A lot of my homies were just, they're still like the same mentality, but they just know that they can't really move like that anymore, where it's like somebody says something, go ride on them, you know?
Yeah.
But they still have it in them, like 100%, bro.
Did you have one pivotal moment that made you go, "Fuck! Like what am I doing with my life? I need to turn it around."
Yeah, when I was locked up. So when I went to YA, I did 4 years, maxed out. So when I was in there, I think I became a monster, bro. Like, there was too many mind games in there. You know, I would see kids get raped. I would see kids get stabbed. You just see a lot of stuff. And then they would steal your stuff and play games. Like, oh, I didn't steal it. And it was just a lot of manipulation. So it kind of fortified like this mindset, like established a mindset of like, okay, I need to be like that too, or else I'm gonna get eaten alive.
I see.
So you had to kind of adapt, and there was so much manipulation. Everyone knows, like, they call it throwing fucks. Like, you just talk shit, and you'll be like, F you and your dead homies, like, just out of nowhere. Like, people would just go
Just to
crazy
mess
like
with you.
that. Yeah, and then you would have to fight the car. So they call it lining it up, where you'll fight one person, and then let's say like you guys are homies, right? Like, if I fight him, then I have to fight you, and it's like a 1 minute break, and then your homie, I have to fight his homie. So it's like, it's not even really a riot, because riots, they just go all out. There was none of that. It was like, oh, you beat up my friend, well, I want to fight you too. It was like that, you know. So
Damn.
That's nuts, dude.
and then you just keep, they call it gladiator school, because you're literally fighting. I think I fought like over 40 times for sure.
It's almost every day type of thing.
It's almost an everyday thing. Yeah, and then later you kind of get a little established, but at the end of the day, it's like there's always new people coming in trying to prove themselves, you know. And I'm so glad that they closed down a lot of those spots.
they shut it down?
Yeah. I went to Nellis YA, which is in Whittier, and that one was like the craziest one. You know, if you ask anybody, all the YA babies who know, they know like Nellis YA. There's YTS, Nellis, there's all these different ones, but Nellis was like the most, it was terrible, bro. Kids were getting killed and stuff.
That's not the one that was on Whittier Boulevard, is it?
Yeah, now it's like
it's a shopping center now.
Exactly.
It's like
That's so crazy.
they used to film movies and stuff there after they shut it down.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then now it's like the block basically.
Yeah, exactly.
You mentioned, so you went to YA and then you went to prison after that?
Yeah, so I went to YA, got out for like 67 days, and then, you know, committed my second crime. Basically 2 counts of assault with deadly weapon. It was a shooting, a nice way of saying shooting. And yeah, that I went and got tried as an adult. I went to the big leagues after that.
How old were you at the time?
At that time I was, 16 going on 17. Yeah, they gave me 10 years, but you don't do the full 10 years. It's usually percentages, so
Was it
10
85,
years,
huh?
85%. Yeah, so I did 8 and some change, something like that.
Was your brother in jail, or is your
Yeah, my brother was locked up too. So
Did they put you in the same?
I never ran into him, you know, which is crazy. Cause my brother,
How do you know your brother did time then?
I'm gonna go up to him today, bro. Hey, how did I know? Bro?
He's like, I was there.
You probably hung out in Monroe.
Hard-hitting questions, bro. You're in Arcadia, weren't you?
Were you guys in different
Escape to Arcadia.
jails altogether? Or like,
Yeah. My brother went to a level 4, so his crime was a little more crazier. His first offense, he caught, I think it was like 14 years. So 14 with 85. Yeah, first offense. First time getting caught, basically. And they washed him up. He was 17 years old as well. So I was at level 3s. So level 3.
How does that stuff?
So level 4 is like the maximum security. It's the highest you could go.
Oh, okay.
And then level 3 is kind of like mid tier. It's where all the knuckleheads kind of go. Probably a lot of our homies have been to level 3. Very few get to level 4. Like, you have to do some kind of murder or something like that. Pretty crazy stuff. Yeah. And then level 2 is just kind of like I carried a gun, you know, and somebody pulled me over and they gave me 18 months, level 2.
Wrong place, wrong time type.
Exactly. Level 1 is the same thing. Like you just drive golf carts and you like drive people around. Like it's really chill in level 1. But level 3, yeah, it's pretty cracking. Level 4 is pretty cracking.
Damn.
Yeah.
And how you said like 8.5 years in prison there. So you said after that, in your very short synopsis, you found like ministry.
Yeah.
Where was that?
So that was after I had gotten out. My mom, she was actually Buddhist. Like traditionally, being Chinese, we're all kind of raised Buddhist, right? Asians in general,
Yeah, as a
right?
default.
Even if you're Christian, there's a little bit of Buddhism.
Yeah. Christian with incense.
I know.
It's Buddha and Jesus together.
Yeah, but I was raised, Buddhist, and my mom would chant. Like she was pretty hardcore. She would go and meet the monks and stuff like that. There was I don't know if it's called a monastery or whatever. It was on Main Street. I don't know if you guys remember that, but it was on Main, right near Main and 6th. I don't know. It was like a big thing. But anyway, she would take us as kids and she would just pray and chant and do all these things. So in prison, she tried to kind of tell me about it in the beginning when she would visit me. She'd visit me maybe like once or twice a month, right? And she would talk about like, oh, you need to, do good karma, Johnny, like if what you put out, you're going to get it, get back. And but I never really listened to her, and then all of a sudden, like maybe 4 or 5 years before I got out, she started talking about Christianity. And I really didn't like that. I was like, Mom.
That's hood hopping right there. I'm like, what the fuck, dude?
It's not loyal.
No loyalty, dude.
No, dude.
All of a sudden, dude. Why the switch up?
Straight to Christianity.
Why are you switching?
That's straight up religion hopping.
Yeah.
Straight up. That's so funny.
Make up your mind.
Yeah, so she, went over to Christianity and yeah, I just didn't want to hear it. I didn't know anything about it, I was just like, and we had like preachers and chaplains in prison and they would like be so condemning. Like they're actual prisoners too. But they'll be like, you need to stop sinning. And we're just like, shut up, bro. You know what I mean? Like you're in here, you're a lifer. Like you did way worse stuff than me and you're telling me to stop sinning, So we didn't like that. It was a bad stigma. And then also in prison, if you cop a unlock, which means you unlock to go to church, it's really looked down upon. Like you're not down basically, because a lot of people, when there's problems, like there's a riot that's gonna happen, they'll unlock and be like, I gotta go to church, so they can avoid the riot. So it's like, bro,
like you're running away from service.
Yeah, being like a little bitch or something.
Yeah. And in prison is strength in numbers. So you have to, everyone counts, especially the Asian car, like the other car. We're very limited. We don't have much people, I think the prisons that I've been to a few of them, like the most Asians we've ever had on one yard was like 30. But then that's compared to 600 Mexicans.
Holy shit.
Damn. 400 blacks, whatever. So yeah, we really had to, like nobody was Christian in the other car. Like it was bad.
When your mom comes to see you, like, do you feel relieved because you get to finally be with the family member? Like, what is that? Do you look forward to? Like, what's that experience like?
I'll be honest, the first 2 years, I didn't, I just ignored her. Like, I know it's messed up. She would drive 2 hours to Ironwood State Prison, and I wouldn't come out because I didn't want to face her. Yeah. So the first 2 years, my mom, I'm always sorry about that, but being in there, like, you don't want any, you have to, like, preserve your mental.
I heard that from everybody, dude, because it makes you soft, and then you feel like you miss her, and then like you gotta be an animal inside.
That's for sure. Yeah, people tell you just forget about your family. Like they straight up say that, and it's like, damn, how do I do that, But you'll see people cry and stuff, and it's really like looked down upon. But yeah, she would come for the first 2 years, and even the COs, correctional officers, would be like, Johnny, you're fucked up. Like you should at least visit your mom, because my mom would come in. She's old. She's not knowing how to navigate the prison system. She comes in wrong clothes. She doesn't have a clear bag for her purse. Like, so she would.
Oh, it's a whole process.
Yeah, she went through a lot, and I didn't help her at all with that. Nobody helped her with that, right? My dad was an alcoholic. He didn't care about that. You know, my brother was locked up, so no one could actually help her. But she made it, you know, a point to try and see her kids, obviously. But yeah,
What kept her going for 2 years?
she just kept. She told me like by faith. You know, she was like, you know, she was like, oh, they'll see me sooner or later.
And she did that for all your brothers?
Yeah, for my brother too.
Did your brother catch the case the same time or separate?
He caught it a year after me.
For the same thing you guys did together or whatever?
No. He did it himself. He did a whole separate thing.
Okay.
He did.
So he went in separately, and your mom was visiting both of y'all, going back and forth? Damn.
She was going to Chino and visiting him, and then going to Ironwood visiting. Yeah.
That's rough, bro.